Hey guys, Zack here at etrailer.com, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Kuat NV 2.0 4-bike base style bike rack on our 2015 Jeep Grand Cherokee. This is going to be one of the largest bike racks that we offer, has really good capacity. I think it's one of the best looking bike racks, and I just like the way that Kuat's bike racks function. I think they're some of the smoothest operating ones, and I personally think this one looks a lot better than the NV 2.0, the regular style one. Those look really sharp, but I just think that the matte black finish on this looks really good on the back of vehicles. Now, when it comes to being able to carry your bikes, this one is ideal for a lot of different bikes. So you can see we have a carbon bike here, and it works well because we have this wheel mounted style. So it's not a frame mount, which is, you know, a traditional style platform style rack. And it's going to work with mountain bikes. It also will work with fat bikes up to 4 and 13/16 inch. If you have a fat bike that's a little bit larger, you will need to pick up the adapter kit for that. That's sold separately. But this is going to be, right out of the box, a really good bike rack. Now, it will only carry bikes up to 40 pounds if you have it fully loaded. But if you have just 2 up front, you can carry bikes up to 60 pounds. So it just kind of depends on how many bikes you're going to carry. And with it being 4 bikes, it's really big. If you're not constantly taking your friends or your family out, you can take out this back section and just make it a 2-bike version, which is really convenient. So you kind of have 2 bike racks in one with this one. But we're just going to focus on the 4 version today. Now, if you need to tilt this away, you can do so by using this lever here. Now, in the 2-bike version, this is a lot easier. I think when this is fully loaded, it's definitely a 2-person job. But you just pull down on that lever, and you can tilt this away. Now, it tilts down pretty far. This Jeep has a factory hitch on it, so we're sitting pretty far off the ground with that hitch, and you can see we're pretty low. So that last bike is going to be tilted out pretty far, but we're going to be just fine in clearance. You can see here we're going to be able to get into our hatch just fine. Even if we had a mountain bike with longer handlebars, we're going to be okay there. So we can get anything out that we need to, close this back up, we'll be just fine. And then when it comes time to putting this back up in place, grab the bike rack, never your bike, and you can hear that go back into place. So I think it's a nice, easy to use way of tilting the bikes away. You know, Thule makes some that are a little bit easier because they have a device back here that you can release, but I still think that this one's okay. I'm going to go ahead and take the bike off, but before I do that, I'm going to show you how this attaches. Up front, we're going to have this hook here that's going to accommodate a lot of different size tires like our cradle does, so it's going to be the same up front. It's got a nice rubber padding on the inside there, and that ratchets down to hold in place. It doesn't come up until I press that button. And then before I take this off, on each end, opposite of the front, so on the back side, it's going to have a cable lock that we can wrap around our frame, and it locks back into itself, and those are all going to be key-to-like. So it's nice that each one of our bikes will be secured, and that's going to be key-to-like with the lock that's down on the hitch. Get that back in place. And then I'm going to do the strap back here first, get that released. And those are really easy to use. That's a pretty normal style strap for the back wheel on platform style racks. And that will slide the entire length of this side to accommodate different wheelbases. And then you can see here, it's a little awkward trying to get over here or reach over this. We'll get that lifted up out of the way. We can get our bike out of the way, and we can take a closer look at those cradles. I'm going to get this arm out of the way. You can see here we have these different grooves to accommodate those different size tires. So we had that road bike sitting down in that groove. Gets a little wider for a more traditional mountain bike, and it gets wider for those fat tire bikes. Now, this does add a lot of length to the back of our vehicle here. So let's give a measurement to see how much this is going to add to the back. From our bumper there, we are adding about 52 inches. So we're saving a little bit of space with the base compared to the NV 2.0, and that's because we don't have that repair stand that's added to the back. You can add that on later if you decide that's something you want. But for the most part, this is the same bike rack as the 2.0. It's just a different finish, and you're missing that repair stand. But for the most part, everything else is going to function the same way. Now, I'm going to give a measurement on the closest point with it down in this position, and that is about 9/15/16 of an inch. So plenty of space there to get over here to make any adjustments to the bike. Now, it does stick out pretty far, but we're pretty far off the ground there because we have that nice rise in our platform. But I'll give you a measurement back here. And we're at 26 inches, so we're pretty far off the ground. I think we're going to be okay there. I'm going to get this tilted back up into a more storage position, and you're going to squeeze that same lever there that we did to tilt it away, and we'll bring it up. And here I think is a really good example of just how large this bike rack is. So you can see it's very sturdy. You know, a lot of bike racks of this size are going to kind of move around a little bit, and there's a little bit there, but not a whole lot. That just, I think, is just kind of goes to show you that Kuat makes really solid racks. And the measurement here to the back point is about 17 inches, so we're saving a ton of space if we need to get into a garage or we want to save some space in our parking spot. Get this strap put back in place. You don't have to get those in, but I just like it to be clean. Closest point is probably going to be this arm right here, and that is at about 6.5 inches. So those take a little bit of effort to get those out. I don't think road vibrations are going to make those cause any concern with making contact. And then ground clearance here is at about 17 inches, and that's all steel right there. This is a rubber coated knob, and this is what actually tightens it up to our anti-rattle portion of the bike rack, because there's a lot of weight on the back of our hitch right here whenever we have this fully loaded. So with that tightened down, that shakes the whole vehicle. So we're not really getting much up and down. We're not getting any real side-to-side action. And that's pretty easy to use. It is a tool-free design for most people. If you need a little bit of help of getting that tightened up the more, there's an included tool that you just insert there, and it gives you a little bit better leverage. And what that does is that goes through our shank, and it attaches in here and just kind of expands to allow this to have a nice tight fit. And you can see we have that included pin and clip, or lock, excuse me. So that's the same lock core that matches our locks on our bikes. So we've got one key that we can use there, but it comes with multiple keys for you, just so you can kind of keep one on a couple different key sets. But it's a really nice design. It only works with 2-inch hitches because we have so much weight back there. But overall, I think this bike rack, it looks really good. It functions well. This is one of my favorite bike racks. The 2-bike version gets used all the time. But if you have a need for 4, this is going to be a really good way to transport 4 bikes of different styles. But that's going to do it for our look at the Kuat NV 2.0 4-bike platform style bike rack on our 2015 Jeep Grand Cherokee.